So I was thinking about Happy Meals the other day. You know, from McDonald's, I realize kids today have no idea what Happy Meals used to be like in the 1980s. They have no concept. My daughter, she's 7, and we took her to McDonald's last week. She gets a Happy Meal, and it comes with like apple slices, a book. I'm looking at this thing thinking this is not a Happy Meal. This is a guilt-free meal. Back in the 80s, McDonald's wasn't trying to make anybody feel good about their choices. They were just like, here's a box. There's a burger in it. There's also a toy that will break in the parking lot. You're welcome. The box was the whole thing, man. That's what made it a Happy Meal. It wasn't about the food. Nobody was going to McDonald's in 1983 being like, I really hope they have that McNugget shaped like a boot today. No, it was about the box. The box had games on it. Remember that? You'd be sitting there and the box would have a maze. Just a maze printed right on there. And you'd try to do the maze with your finger while your mom was in line ordering, and you'd mess up and you couldn't erase it because it's a cardboard box. So you just start over, do the same maze like 8 times. They also had connect the dots on a Happy Meal box, which is crazy when you think about it because you're about to eat the box's contents, not frame it. But we do it anyway. And connect those dots like we were gonna turn it in for a grade. And then there were the McDonald's characters on the box. You remember those? Grimace, the Hamburglar, Mayor McCheese, who was just a guy with a cheeseburger for a head, which if you really think about it, is pretty dark for a kid's meal. He's the mayor of a town where apparently everyone's made of food. But the toy that was the main event. You get your Happy Meal and you wouldn't even look at the burger. You'd just tear into that box trying to find the toy. Just ripping it open like it's Christmas morning. And the toys back then were simple, real simple. They weren't electronic, connect to an app. They were just a thing, a plastic thing. I remember one time I got a Happy Meal and the toy was a rubber Grimace that you could squeeze. That was it. You squeeze it and it would just be squeezed. And then you'd let go and it would go back to normal. That was the whole toy. I played with that thing for months. My daughter's Happy Meal last week, the toy had a QR code on it. A QR code on a Happy Meal toy. You scan it with your phone and it unlocks something in a game. I'm sitting there thinking, when did Happy Meals become homework? The 80s, if you wanted your toy to do something, you had to use your imagination. You had a little plastic Ronald McDonald that didn't move, didn't talk, didn't light up. He just stood there. You'd make him fight Grimace. Just bash them together. That was it. That was the whole play experience, and it was fine. The burger in a Happy Meal was tiny. I mean, it was so small, you could eat it in 2 bites if you really committed. It was basically a slider before sliders were cool. And the hamburger patty was thin, man. It was like they took a regular patty and just spread it out, like butter on toast. You could almost see through it. Up to the light at the right angle, it's translucent. But nobody cared because we weren't there for nutritional value. We were there for the toy and the box. The burger was just like a formality. Yeah, I'll eat this so I can play with my Changeables. You remember Changeables? Those were the toys that transformed from food into robots. A Big Mac that turned into a robot, which is hilarious because it implies that at McDonald's the food is secretly alive and plotting against us, which honestly might explain why my stomach hurt every time. The fries in a Happy Meal came in a little red container, not a bag, container made of cardboard with a big smile on it, and there were never enough fries. It was always like 12 fries, maybe 13 if you got a good employee. You'd eat them on the way to the table. They'd be gone before you even sat down. But those fries tasted different back then. I swear they did. People say they changed the oil or something. I don't know if that's true, but those 80s McDonald's fries were like scientifically engineered to be perfect. They were crispy, salty, and they stayed hot for exactly 45 seconds after you got them. After that, they turned to cold, sad little sticks. But in those first 45 seconds, magic. The drink was Orange High C or Coca-Cola. That was it. Those were your choices. None of this coconut water or organic apple juice stuff. Just pure sugar in liquid form. And the cup was small, real small. Like a Dixie cup. You'd finish it before the commercials were over if you were eating in the restaurant. But the straw man, the straw was the best part. It was paper back then, no wait, it was plastic straws. And they were striped, white stripes. And if you bit down on it while drinking it, would make that squeaky noise, and your mom would tell you to stop, but you'd do it anyway, because what else are you gonna do? You already finished the maze on the box. If you were really lucky, your McDonald's had a PlayPlace. This was before they made everything safe. The PlayPlace in the 80s was basically a lawsuit waiting to happen. It was all metal slides that would burn your legs in the summer. Just sear them like a panini press. You go down the slide and stand up with grill marks on the back of your thighs. And the ball pit. Oh man, the ball pit. That thing was a petri dish, just a giant container of germs. Kids would lose shoes in there. Retainers. I saw a kid lose his glasses once. Just gone, vanished into the balls, never to be seen again. But we loved it. We'd dive into that ball pit like it was an Olympic event. Come up with someone else's French fry stuck to your shirt. Your mom would be mortified, but you didn't care. You were 7, you were invincible. Getting a Happy Meal in the 80s was an event. You didn't just roll through the drive-thru. Well, you could, but where's the fun in that? No, you went inside McDonald's. You walked in and the smell would hit you immediately. That McDonald's smell, you know the one. It's like Grease and Dreams. There'd be a line, always a line. You'd wait in that line staring up at the menu board, even though you already knew what you wanted. A Happy Meal. You were getting a Happy Meal. You were 7 years old. That's what you got. But you'd stare at that menu anyway, looking at the pictures of the Big Mac and the Quarter Pounder, thinking one day I'll be old enough for that. When you finally got to the front of the line, the cashier would look down at you and say, "What can I get you?" And you'd freeze. Every time, even though you'd been practicing your order in line, you just blank. Your mom would have to order for you. He wants a Happy Meal hamburger with a Coke. Did you want a boy toy or a girl toy? And that was a whole thing, because the boy toy would be like a Hot Wheels car, and the girl toy would be a My Little Pony or a Barbie. And you're standing there thinking, well, I'm a boy, but that pony looks pretty cool. You couldn't say you wanted the girl toy because you were in public and there were rules. Social rules that didn't make sense, but we all followed anyway. So you'd say, boy toy, and then spend the next week wishing you'd gotten the pony. Every few months, McDonald's would do a promotion. They'd have special toys you could collect. And these weren't just toys. These were collectibles. At least that's what your parents told you. Don't open it. Keep it in the package. It'll be worth something someday. So you'd have this unopened Happy Meal toy sitting on your shelf, and you'd stare at it wanting so badly to play with it, but knowing you couldn't because it was an investment. Wonder how many people still have those toys sitting in their parents' attic somewhere, in mint condition, worthless. But back then, we thought we were sitting on gold. This McNugget buddy is gonna pay for college. My daughter doesn't understand any of this. She gets her Happy Meal now, and it's all healthy and safe and educational. The toy teaches her about recycling or something. There's no mystery anymore, no excitement. You can go on the app and see exactly what toy they have before you even leave the house. Where's the surprise in that? Back in the 80s, you had no idea what you were getting. You'd roll up to McDonald's, get your Happy Meal, open it up, and it'd be like, oh, it's the Fry Guy this week. You'd either be thrilled or devastated, but either way, you deal with it. That was life. Now kids can trade toys. They have whole systems set up. I'll trade you my Pokemon for your Mario. It's like the stock market for 6-year-olds. We didn't have that. If you got a duplicate, you just had 2 of the same toy. That was it. You'd give it to your little brother or throw it in the junk drawer. Done. I think about Happy Meals a lot. More than a grown man probably should. But there was something about them, you know. Something simple. It wasn't about the food being good. It wasn't even about the toy being great. It was about the whole experience. Going to McDonald's with your family, getting that little box, doing the maze, fighting over who got the window seat. Different now, better in some ways, sure. Healthier, safer. I don't know, I kind of miss when a Happy Meal was just a cheap cardboard box with a hamburger and a toy that broke immediately. That was happiness, simple happiness. My daughter asked me the other day, Dad, did you have Happy Meals when you were a kid? Yeah, we did. Were they different? Very different. Better. I thought about it for a second, and I said no, not better, just different. But between you and me, yeah, they were better. So that's Happy Meals in the 80s. They're smart, just a weird, greasy, plastic-filled piece of childhood that somehow meant everything. Thanks for listening to me talk about hamburgers and toys for 30 minutes. I appreciate it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go see if my mom still has that rubber Grimace in her attic. That thing's gotta be worth at least I don't know nothing, but I want it anyway. Thank you. Good night.